This video is all about organizational leadership. First, the learning outcomes are, at the end of this video, you should be able to explain what organizational leadership is, distinguish between leadership and management, describe different organizational leadership styles, explain what situational leadership, servant leadership are, and discuss how to sustain change in organization. In the world of business, organizational leadership is kind of buzzword. So let us fragment the word organizational leadership to find its meaning. Organization is the process of when people gather together and form something based on a common beliefs or goals. So, organization activates two subjects, the individual and the group. Leadership, on the other hand, it is the art or process of influencing people to perform assigned tasks willingly, efficiently, and competently. So organizational leadership means everyone understands the vision and goals of the organization, and everyone has input into how they can be improved and how they can contribute to the organization. This content provides us the understanding that one organization won't stand without the working force of every member of the organization. Everyone is accountable for the transcending goals of the organization. Organizational leadership is a management approach in which leaders help set strategic goals for organization while motivating individuals within their group to successfully carry out assignments in the service to those goals. So the very essence of organizational leadership is the compelling vision. To achieve those vision, the leaders must set strategic planning. One of these strategic plan is that focusing the energy of each people or each member and ensure they are all working to the same vision. Thus, strategic planning shows us guide to prioritize objectives in an institution so goals or vision are achievable. Organizational leadership comes from the top, middle, and bottom. Each of that component must work hand in hand for the achievement of the same vision. To sum up, organizational leadership is a management approach in which leaders must set strategic plan for the betterment or for the achievement of the same goals and for the betterment of the organization. At the same time, leaders must motivate every member of the group or every member of the organization to carry out its own responsibility. Members as well must see to it that he or she functions efficiently and sufficiently for the betterment or for the accomplishment of the goal or the accomplishment of the vision of that organization. So, basically, organizational leadership comes from goals, strategy, and people. So that is organizational leadership is.
So we all know that a great leader and a great manager have differences according to their responsibilities. So first, let us define what is leader. A leader is someone who holds a dominant position in a given field and has an ability to influence the group of people towards achievements and objectives. While manager is someone who's in charge of the organization and has a subordinates to report for him or her about the day-to-day operation in their company. Let's elaborate the responsibilities of a manager and a leader. A manager is to administer. Their process is transactional, meet objectives, and delegate tasks. While leaders can innovate, their process is transactional, develop a vision, and find a way forward. Managers are work-focused. The goal is to get things done, and they are skilled at allocating work, while leaders are people-focused. The goals include both people and results. They can they care about what you want and what you to succeed. Also, managers have subordinates. They create circles of power and lead by authority. While leaders have followers, they create circles of influence and lead by inspiring. Managers do things right. They enact the existing culture and maintain status quo, while leaders do the right things. They shape the culture and derive integrity.
Hello everyone, as a continuation for the chapter 8, the organizational leadership, I will be discussing to you two topics: the types of skills demanded for a leader and the leadership styles. Let's talk about types of skills demanded for a leader. We have three types of skills: the technical skills, the human skills, and the conceptual skill. For technical skill, this is more on technical things, like for example setting up PowerPoint presentation, sending emails, and etc. And for human skills, these are more on your relationship to people, or how you manage the members of the organization, or how you build teamwork. It is about how could you build up teamwork in an organization, so everybody could work together harmoniously. For conceptual skill, this is your ability to think as a leader, or this conceptual skills are more on ideas, like being a model, creating frameworks, setting up long-range plans, and etc. So again, we have technical skills, human skills, and conceptual skills. And now, let's move on. I think we're done with that. For leadership styles, we have 4 leadership styles. First is the autocratic, the consultative, the democratic, and the laissez-faire. For autocratic leadership style, these are the kinds of leaders who do not ask or who do not consult the members of the organization. Instead, they make decisions by themselves. For the consultative leaders consult the members of the organization in making certain decision. Third is the democratic leader. This kind of leader is giving each and every member of the organization to give their opinions. Each and every opinions are being valued. For example, they will be having a meeting and votation. Next is the laissez-faire. So the laissez-faire is free range leadership style. The leader is somewhat or avoid facing responsibilities. He just let his members to make decisions by their own, or set up their own work, or to establish their own work. It is good in a way that if all of the members are matured enough. But what if there are members who are what do we call this, hard-headed, or they're going against the flow? So it would be a chaos. To recap, we have 3 types of skills demanded for a leader. So you should possess these 3. You are going to be a leader. So the technical skills, the human skills, and the conceptual skills. For leadership styles, we have 4 leadership styles: the autocratic leadership, the consultative leadership, and the democratic leadership, and the laissez-faire.
Present to you the 3 leadership style: the autocratic leadership, the democratic leadership, and laissez-faire leadership. First is the autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership, it is a boss-centered and authoritarian. Most of the time, boss tend to make decisions on their own and tell the people what to do and how to do it. Typically, it is a high power distance from the boss and his or her employees. And the good thing of being a autocratic leadership is that when you're not around, the people tend to work harder. The next one is democratic leadership. So in democratic leadership, it is a group-centered. group-centered means you gathered feedback on the possible decision within the group. So the good thing of it is you can allow your subordinates in expressing their ideas and creativity. And so it increases the productivity within the group. The last one is laissez-faire leadership. So this type of leadership is largely hands-off with minimal direction and supervision from manager to the staff. The key of using this method is having well-trained and efficient workers.
So my task is to discuss all about servant leadership. By the way, the term servant leadership was first used by Robert K. Greenleaf on 1977. So, how can one be a leader when he or she is a servant? Does it make any sense? So, but the paradox is Greenleaf's deliberate and meaningful way of emphasizing the qualities of the servant leader. He described the servant. First, it begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve. Then, conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. The best test is, do those served grow as a person? Do they, while being served, become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely themselves to become servants? And what is the effect on the least privileged in society? Will they benefit or at least not be further deprived? That is the statement of Greenleaf 1977 to 2002. It's page 27. So the first desire of the servant leader is to serve. But how? By teaching, by leading, or rather, the greatest teacher of humankind. Do you know who it is? It is Jesus Christ, So, Jesus Christ was a servant leader. He taught his disciples, he who wants to great must be the servant of all. So, there's another one. The life of the greatest teacher was a life of a total service to all. So, we often hear the term public servants. So, to refer to appointed and elected officials of the government to emphasize the fact that they indeed are servants of the people. So, dito sa atin, minsan mayroong mga politiko na kapag eleksyon, sinasabi nila sa yung sa huli ng kanilang sentence, ang inyong alagad. Pag nakaupo na, yung sinasabi nila sa sentence na honorable, di ba? Kumbaga, lang sila, servant lang sila kung eleksyon na. So, their first duty is to serve, and in serving, they don't think of their power as a leader first. So, sana all. If they do, they tend to become more conscious of their importance, felt over their constituents, and forget that if ever they are given power, it is to serve their people. Someone said, power corrupts. And it does when leaders think first of their power and forget the very reason why such power was given, etc. to serve. Diba? The greatest teacher said, and whoever wants to be first among you must be slave. So there's another one. The greatest among you shall be your servant. So he emphasizes the servant leader. So you can also read Mark 9:35 and Mark 10:43. His whole life was a life of service. In fact, He wanted to impress this idea of servant leadership by doing something dramatic in his last day on earth. He washed away the feet of his apostles. No, sadly, he wanted to etch the idea that leaders are supposed to be foot washers, or what we call this, a leader supposed to be a servants of all. So emphasize that uh, a leader, once you a leader, you are a servants of all. So servants leadership seeks to involve others' decision making in strong based in ethical and caring behavior, and enhances the growth of workers while improving the caring and quality of organizational life. The school, uh, the school head who acts as a servant leader forever remember that he or she is there to serve her teachers, the students, the parents, and etc., and not the teachers, learners, parents to serve for him or her. So that's all for the servants leadership.